Yeah, you found out yesterday. You just didn't follow up.
What were you doing this morning?
Yeah, I'm not the boss.
Late,
Tell us why you're late. Huh?
I was preparing.
I just got a nice cup of tea.
Okay, Kierran, tell us about your Yemen trip.
Sure. Where do you start?
Well, from the beginning would be nice.
I got like this random message on Instagram from a guy in Italy called Nicola Vitali. And he says to me, yo, you want to go to Socotra? And straight away you like, block. I mean, goes into the request and I'm like, oh no, this is not happening. I'm sure the DMs are it's a crazy environment. So this guy messages me, I look at it, don't respond. He sends me a question mark. I don't respond. He says, hello, ... Anyway, I eventually respond and I'm like, hey, like, where's Socotra? Sends me this link to this thing off the coast of Yemen, this, that. I look at Jess and I'm like, yeah, no, I'm getting abducted. You know, there's no ways some random Instagram message is going to land up being something real. So anyway, the guy says, let's jump on a call, let's chat. Anyway, give the guy my number. He calls me and goes, this is what I do. I do these fishing trips all over the world. Basically, I just want you to come and just have a great time. I'll pay you X amount and cover all the expenses. Within, I think, a day or two, my wife booked the flights. I forced him to use my wife just so that in case anything happened, I could just
explain what your wife does before you say, I forced him to use my wife.
Okay.
Use my wife. A little bit more context.
Yeah, you know, she got to make money somehow.
Double or nothing.
Yeah, it's double or nothing. But, okay, Jess is a travel agent. She works for Flight Centre, so there we go. So anyway, books the flight. And I heard there were like two other South Africans going. And I got their details, phoned these guys, and I was like, just trying to like validate this whole thing. Give it some like, you know, I was still on the fence. Like flights are booked, everything's in. I don't know where I'm going. I'm not. There's no plan whatsoever. It was literally Durban, Joburg, Doha, Abu Dhabi. I had to take a cargo plane to Socotra. There's no cell phone signal. There's no Wi-Fi. There's nothing. You just land.
To some people because people won't necessarily know.
Try summarize Socotra. Well,
You got a video
It's
on
an
it, so
yeah. I mean, you could watch the video, but
link in bio.
yeah, we'll drop it down below. But it's an island off the coast of Yemen, and
Is it North Africa? Like east side
it's
of
off
North
the horn
Africa.
of. It's just off the horn of Africa. Like I think it's 90 kilometers off the coast of Somalia. You know, that already was a huge red flag. I was like, you read the news and all these abductions and things that are going on, and that's exactly where I'm going. I mean, it sounds fitting for who I am, but it's just an island off the coast of Yemen with absolutely nothing.
At least there's nothing to loot there.
Yeah, well, no. Yes and no.
They loot the goats.
People steal dragon trees there, believe it or not, and they smuggle them out the country somehow. There's a tree there called a dragon blood tree, and it's only found on that island. And anyway, I land in this island, and I walk through customs. I get out the other side, and I've got no phone. I don't know who's collecting me. There's been no communication. So the network, cell phone network in Socotra collapsed. I mean, the infrastructure doesn't exist. There's nothing. It's just a pile of rocks and sand, and people live there. People live there, yeah, and goats and people, you know. Anyway, I'm just standing aimlessly outside this airport, like having a cigarette, just sitting there going, oh my God, like, you know, there's no English. Everyone just speaks Arabic. And eventually this guy just comes like running up to me, and he's got this A4 like printout of my face, and he's like, yes. And I'm like, shit. I'm like, he pulls in with this Jeep with like a smashed windscreen. It's like, it's destroyed. I mean, this is like, just picks up my bags and loads them in the car. Now I'm in this car that with this person that I have no idea who they are. It's about an hour to our so-called hotel, and I'm literally just sitting there, just like, oh my goodness, where's this guy taking me? Like, who am I meeting? Is Nicola here? And the guy's just going off in Arabic, and I'm just sitting there going, oh shit. Anyway, I arrive at this hotel, which you can imagine in Socotra, there's no it's not what you think. It's literally a pile of rubble, half-built buildings. This guy offloads my bags, waves goodbye, and that's it. I walk inside, and I still have no idea if I'm meeting up with someone or what's going on. I walk inside, and I just say Nicola's name, and I'm like, Nicola, hotel, like I'm just trying to get this stuff across, and guy's like, oh, hands me a room key. Go upstairs, there's like a bed that's like half sunken, filthy, home for the next month, a few days. Anyway, I then see the only white guy in the hotel, and I like run after this dude, and I'm like, bro, like, do you understand English? Can you talk? Blah, blah, blah. He goes, there's a French guy, and he goes, yes, are you the cameraman? Are you camera? You going taking pictures? I'm like, yes, it's me. Anyway, I'll just latch onto this guy. Anyway, I don't know where I'm going with this, but yeah, I suddenly made contact. It was like, okay, I was here. This is happening. I then get told I'm just gonna have to sit there for a week. And Nicola has taken a group of guests into the mountains, and we cannot get hold of them. The satellite phone is broken, and you're just going to have to sit here for a week, and we're only going to Abd al-Khuri, this other island, in a week's time. So I just aimlessly sat in a city called Adibu, and yeah.
Petted cat.
Petted cat. So.
Yeah, and you killed the goat.
Yeah, no, well, we'll get there. But it's really like there's nothing. I mean, I exchanged $100, and I literally got like a wad of money like this. And I think those guys thought I was some massive celebrity when I walked into this half-assed bank. And just exchange. You can't use dollars there. If you use US, you're just gonna get screwed. They're gonna shortchange you. But exchanged this money, and just literally aimlessly walking around Adibu. Anyway, we decided to book a.
And food-wise, there, what were you chowing there? Like, could you buy anything?
It's kind of. Everything is fried in the most disgusting oil you've ever seen in your life. Blacker than black. I think they've been using the same oil for like 10 years. It's literally disgusting.
No.
Anyway, it was one of the things I said to this guy, Alex. I'm like, dude, like, where do we eat? What do we eat? And he says, food? I'm like, yes, food. He takes me to this place, and obviously the menus.
What did he do?
He's a fishing guide, so he takes people into these extreme locations, and
fuck, like,
they catch fish, bro. That's it.
But he obviously, like, he's doing it for internationals.
Yes, so
he gets paid in nice dollars, and
he gets paid
then that's fine.
He gets paid a few €1,000 to sit in paradise and take people on boats fishing. Literally, I mean, it's paradise, but it's very hard. Like, it's not. I mean,
and money doesn't do anything.
Yeah,
it doesn't get you nicer food. It doesn't get you a nicer roof.
I mean, we go to this place and they say chicken, and I'm like, okay, like chicken, fine. I don't see any chickens anywhere. I'm like, but they say chicken's on the menu, and I'm like, oh, okay, chicken, whatever. This chicken arrives, this plate of food, and it's like they cook like a massive. It's almost like a naan bread, as we have in Durban, but like the size of this table. They put it down and they put the food there, and everyone just like breaks bread and like a piece of chicken. The chicken has lumo red skin.
No way.
Yeah. I'm sitting at this restaurant, and I'm like, yeah, I don't know what chicken this is. And I just see vultures flying around everywhere. Egyptian vultures. And I'm like, I'm looking at this drumstick arrives, bro. It's
a big chicken.
Bro, that would make 100% sense.
And I'm like, yeah, we eating vulture, right? It's gotta be, And the guy's like, oh yeah, chicken. It's
a bird.
It's a bird. It
It's a
doesn't
bird.
matter. It doesn't
Yeah.
matter. It doesn't taste
Bro,
like
honestly,
chicken.
I wouldn't
Got a
mind.
bit of a tang. Like
I wouldn't
it's
mind.
it's a bit. And imagine they just put it in oil, like, and just fry this thing. No, like, it's not like KFC here. We got nice batter and this straight in the oil out onto the plate, bread, no sauce, no nothing.
So wouldn't recommend.
They did bring me like an amazing guava juice. Like I'm in the middle of nowhere,
Where
and they
the
put
fuck
this
is that
they
from, bro?
guava juice. No, actually, you only. So, you know, Socotra, you'll just see men. Like obviously the woman, like.
No, I'm talking about the juice.
I know what you. Anyway, it's just a strange place. But anyway, a week goes by and Nicola returns with these guests, and I meet this person, you know, for the first time, and he then tells me, right, tomorrow morning, 6 a.m., we are going to board a sunbook and do a 15-hour boat crossing. Now, I'm like one of those people that I vomit in the harbor. Now I'm going to get on this, like, ship
Were you
and
sick as
sail
fuck, eh?
and sail across, like, the Gulf of Aden, where there's pirates, there's this, there's that. I'm like, this, no one told me about this boat trip. Anyway, to get to this place, I thought we were flying there. Like, what do you mean? No, jumping on this boat. Anyway, we go to this other place. What was it called? Can't remember the port we were at. Anyway, we get there, and there's this boat. It's called a sunbook. So it's basically a mothership. It's a fishing vessel. So in the hull below, it's just full of dry ice and things like that. And they go out and they catch fish and they load it in there, and then everyone, all the cities and towns and stuff, eat from that boat. Get onto the sunbook. It is disgusting. There are cockroaches. I don't think it has ever been cleaned, or there's fish guts. It stinks. There's no toilets. There's no nothing. You literally just shit off the back of the boat. Like, you literally just hang off the edge and, like, have a dump. But anyway, we were meant to start the trip at like 5 in the afternoon. 9 o'clock at night, we're still there. Problem with the boat, this, that. Anyway, gets all sorted and we're on our way. Now you can imagine this thing is just doing this. Left, right, and I mean, I felt it coming from the depths of hell. I was like, oh, no, I got 15 hours of this. Anyway, didn't puke at all for the first time in my life. I just lay flat on the roof. You kind of just get your spot on the boat. Everyone just, like, they've got these mattresses that are, I don't know how many guys have slept on them. Mattresses.
That are bed bug ridden, eh? Like,
well, they were wet.
Yeah, bro, you fucking.
They were slimy. They were slimy. Anyway, what can you do? I'm in the middle of the Gulf of Aden. I'm not. It's sleep on the floor, a hard wooden deck, or put a slimy mattress there. I mean, we just all. It is what it is. Just embrace it. You know. Do this 15-hour crossing, and we did tow a smaller boat behind us, a panga. So pangas are like, it's like a canoe with a motor on it. Me towing this boat at 2 a.m. I hear screaming and shouting. I see people jumping into the ocean. Now you must imagine black water. We in the middle of the Gulf of Aden, and there's guys jumping off the side of the boat. This is what I wake up to, and I'm like, geez, we've been boarded by pirates. You know, I'm like, shit. There's guys, you can see the guys with their AKs and this and that. I'm like, oh my God, what's going on? Anyway, the panga got so much water in it from the crossing. We went through some rough sea that it sunk, but it was still attached to the cable that was attached to our boat.
Oh, no.
And I'm going, oh my God. And the guys are literally trying to bring it back up. And I'm like, guys, cut it off. This thing is going to take us down. It's gone. And they tried for about 3 hours to save this panga, but eventually cut it off.
Bro, I would have just gone and cut it off. There's no ways you're saving a fucking boat underwater.
Yeah. Anyway, it was fully underwater. Anyway, the whole back of our vessel was being pulled down, and I'm going shit. I'm like, no, guys, we're in the ocean like sharks. No, what are you doing? Diving off a boat to save another boat, and it just doesn't make sense. Anyway, we cut this thing loose. The guys are sad, all upset. I mean, you can imagine. There's no like infrastructure or anything. Those boats are like super there's none of that. Anyway, we carry on the journey, blah blah blah. Now we delayed even further, so 15 turns into 18, which turns into like almost an entire day. Anyway, we arrive in the morning to this island, Abdul Kuri, and oh man, it was like imagine a scene from Jurassic Park. Like you know in the movie they're like sailing up to this island that you can't see from anywhere, and then these rocks just appear like on the horizon. Oh dude, it was incredible. And we docked the boat. Well, you just anchor the boat and then use the panga. Now we didn't have a panga, so we couldn't get off the main boat to get onto the island. Now what? So we're there trying to scream for people there. Oh, there were already fishermen there, trying to just get their attention. Anyway, they saw us and brought a boat to us, and we all disembarked and set up camp, and that's where we would camp for the next month. And
Fuck. So it was like one area you got to really experience it.
So there's a number of islands. There's Socotra, which is the main island, which has a population on it. There's then Abdul Kuri, Dasa and Samar, which are smaller islands all in a line. And yeah, dude, like really uninhabited, just sand and rocks, no trees, no grass, no nothing. And this is where we would camp for the next month. So, yeah.
And
as we got
what about
there,
water?
So we rationed on water. You have to take water there. There's no drinking water.
Fuck.
You know, we only had limited supplies. We had like, you know, we took like Pepsis and things like that. You know what? But being there for a month, the amount of people that we were,
Yo, you
it
gotta
was
take 50 Pepsis.
Yeah, like you know, it's try like 300, but
No, I'm saying each.
yeah. But yeah, there's nothing. There's nothing there.
The lack of connections, because obviously there was no cell signal.
No.
Probably very limited people, I would imagine.
You know, I put my phone off when we left. Well, my phone was completely useless when I got to Socotra, and so I just switched it off. When I left after a month, I put it on for the first time. Still had battery. I was shocked. But it was actually great. Just imagine deleting the internet from your life.
It must be so good.
For 1 month.
It must feel fantastic.
No one WhatsApps you. No one phones you.
Yeah.
There's no Instagram. There's no Facebook. It's just off.
So what did your mornings become like? Because typically we go on our phones first thing in the
No,
morning.
dude.
So what did it become like?
This
a
trip-
weekend?
Yeah, like this trip was all about like exploring this area and fishing. Okay, so you'd get up. I mean, there were long days. I mean, you would be out at sea every day, all day. There were different days where I decided to stay and do other things. Like, you know, we hired like this little bark called a Bayotian, like a Chinese bark, and these fishermen bring them to these islands so they can get around. I mean, the one island is like 30 kilometers long. That's it. You know, to walk that every day, it would be intense. So we hired a bark for like $20 a day, and we just like rode all over. And but most of the day started like, you know, obviously early. Breakfast was like biscuits, biscuits, and you know, just whatever was lying around. Bread. The guys would make like this bread thing. But yeah, it was very like super basic.
And
Then
people very welcoming.
Yeah, I don't know, very welcoming. You know, obviously there are people that live on Abdul Kuri, and but you can only access this island like a few months of the year because the ocean it's worse than like the Bering Sea. I mean, that you can see like 500 meters inland, there's like coral and rocks and things from the ocean. That's how big the ocean gets. So where we camped is actually underwater most of the year. What else? So yeah, morning start, like get on the boat and you head out. The mission was to catch like big GT, like 50, 60 kilo fish. and all other kinds of things, rainbow runners, amberjacks.
One or two oaks to pull in.
Look, I mean, I caught a few. When you hook a 60 kilo GT, it will, as I say, rip you a new arsehole. Literally, it's like, imagine something at this giant muscle just grabbing onto a lure, and you know we fishing with 100-pound braid, and there were times where they snapped off. You know, you're talking serious power. Like the big fish have like one big run, and you just got to hold on for dear life, literally like feet against the boat, and you're just holding. You can't reel it. And then eventually when the fish slows down, it goes into the current and uses its weight, you know, in the current, and then you got to slowly reel it in. But yeah, intense.
Was there a lack of stress? I know you were working there, obviously, but I mean, it's not the same type of work that you probably used to.
There was absolutely no...
Sorry.
There was a...
Do you want me to repeat it?
What?
Mark said he couldn't hear. So, just so people can hear, I asked, how did you find the lack of stress? Because obviously it's different work, but you still had to be working somewhat.
Just turn your mic like so.
I don't think there was any stress. I mean, the beauty of this trip was it was so open-ended. There was no like brief. There was no anything. It was just like, do what you want. Then, yeah, just, you know, we trust you. We like your work. Just come here and just shoot whatever you want to shoot. You tell me what you want to do. What do you want to do today? I want to go hiking up this mountain. Cool, let's go. What do you want to do tomorrow? Let's go to this bird island. You know, we went to this place where it's called, the locals call it the pyramids. It literally looks like, when you're approaching it, 3 pyramids in the middle of the ocean. It's rocks in like perfect V's. And it's an entire like nesting site. So yeah, I mean, it was very like super relaxed,
And
like
then
nothing.
You found the dichotomy of your life, because straight after you got back from that trip, you basically went into heavy stress and heavy connections, doing something quite novel in our city with the BeYou experience.
Yeah, man, I don't know. I mean, the BeYou thing.
It's like, I need to surround myself with
Yeah.
people again.
Let's do something.
Let's kill a goat.
Yeah, on one end, like 1 month in paradise, landing back here to, you know, the BeYou thing, like, was never meant to be what it was. In the beginning, it was just like this thing I was doing with Music Man, and how we were going to just amplify it a bit more with like the hikes that I do at Giba. And then all of a sudden, like, we were like, let's just make this a blowout event. I think I phoned Mark and I was like, yo, Mark, got this idea. Like, let's do this.
Let me please, bro, I was like thinking too much. I know that I need to like be in quiet when I think. Like, then I was like, chat to Jace in the meantime. But I handed him the phone upstairs.
Yeah, I was literally like, I don't feel like having this conversation. I know this is just going to be stressful. Pass me the phone, and then afterwards I'm like, Mark, we got an event. And like,
Yeah, literally,
Yeah.
But like, I mean, the BeYou thing, like, that's what it's about. Like, you know, everyone, I'm just getting this one question. How much how do you make money? Like, why are you doing this? You know, as if making money is the only reason people should do something like this. You know, that I think it's very strange for people.
It's also like, it's a sign of the new age. So I think I was chatting to Mike about this, how back in the day you used to have newspapers, for example, right?
Sure.
You had to buy newspapers. So newspaper companies sold it. That's how they got their stuff in. Adverts went out on it, right? Social media came around and did the exact same thing for free.
Sure.
And people were like,
Yeah,
how are they
and
monetizing?
we just did that with events.
Yeah.
We
It's
just did the
awareness.
same progress with events, because the bottom line is, eyes on a brand are eyes on a brand.
And brands
Why do
will
they
pay
need
for
to
that.
pay you to look at it? Yeah, it's like what you said. Why do they need to
Exactly.
pay you to look at your brand?
Well, sure. Like, that's, I mean, you know, I'm involved in so many different campaigns with so many different businesses. And, you know, after the campaigns, everyone's like, you know, how many views did your video get? How many people saw it? How many, what are the insights? How many people clicked the link? So brands want that, but they want people to pay to do it.
Well,
You know,
that's
in the event game, and I'm
just
like,
in the event game.
Yeah.
It's like it doesn't work anywhere else.
no.
It's just an event. Like, it's a fashion show for a brand,
Sure.
but now you pay to go to that. Or it's a, you know what I mean?
Sure.
Like, you're busy earning money off your brand, but now people must pay to come look at your brand. When
and
that's
not
the thing.
and not pay like a little, pay a lot.
Yeah.
You know, this is where we're like, you know, when I first spoke to you, I was like, guys, we got so many people that we know. I mean, you know, there's us, there's Joss, there's Music Man, there's Dan Shaw, Dan Vandal, this, that. Let's just rope in our connections, the people we know,
that have
people
the same
who are
idea.
who are
You think
immediate,
the same.
and let's just make it happen.
Yeah. You immediately got rid of, like, I mean, just having these chats with people, you immediately tick off those boxes of people that don't think like us.
Sure, and
Did you
and
lose
it's-
some friends?
definitely, man. And the
Yeah.
thing is, like, you know, so many people, I never once asked an artist, please do this event for free. I never asked that. I said, this is what we're trying to create.
If it aligns
If
with
you
what you're
see
doing.
it,
Yeah.
I want you involved. If you don't, it's okay.
Yeah.
And then
100%.
boom, a lot of negativity, just straight up. It was like,
Yeah,
oh,
but
how's
look
this
how
guy?
much
You
it
know,
benefited the people that were involved.
definitely,
Huge.
man, massive.
It
And now
was
we move,
massive.
like now that the BU thing was such a success, we move into a different space.
Yeah, and take everything with us.
Now I can go, Joss, there's 100 grand. This is what we're doing. We've got this sponsor, that person here, there. This is how we're doing it. The next stage is going to be colossal. Like, it puts us in a whole different space. And those that didn't believe, well, shame. You know, what
it's
must-
also hard to do it in a place where people are sort of putting the negativity out there, like this won't work, or why are they trying to do that? But then when it comes off, you're like,
Yeah, and we got tons of
that's
it.
what
This is we created this at Giva with nothing.
Yeah.
Literally our own
And
money.
we had never done it before.
Our own
You
money.
are not in the
yeah.
event space.
I'm not
We've
in a
had
yeah.
3 through hire, but only out of necessity. We're not event, like we don't want to be in
Sure.
events.
Sure.
But like we all just did it and we went balls to the wall and it worked fantastic.
And it's like, isn't it logical?
It is.
It's not hard. What do we need? A stage. Okay, cool. There's gonna be people. We need public toilets. I think we need to get health and safety involved.
Yeah,
we
the
need
security
this. We
and the
need that.
safety that's the part no one thinks about.
Sure.
Because it's all the exciting, flashy stuff. But if you do the health and safety first and like secure it, you can do whatever the fuck you want after.
100%.
Yeah. Yeah, you
That's-
just need people to sign off, basically.
That's
and
it.
don't try to do it in 4 weeks.
Yeah, look.
That was the shit part.
The timeline was the kicker. Like, if we had
And we
more
had no
time,
reason. He just
Yeah.
said, you know what, I already said this date to Music Man. We're going to stick to it.
that was. But I'm
And he
wait.
hadn't even publicized it much. And it's like, we could do this thing at the waterfall. And now he's not moving it no matter what.
Yeah, like, you know, like that initial thing with the waterfall, like, people went and reported me to the municipality, and I was really taken back by it because, you know,
What are the names?
He is nature. Like,
yeah,
Karen
like, what do you
is-
mean?
His whole life is
Like-
based around like
As
nature. He
if
is,
I'm going
like,
to
it's
as if I'm wanting to destroy something. It was the way in which people approached me,
Yeah.
and it was like very
And
aggressive.
the whole idea behind his whole concept initially was to promote Giba Gorge and the reserve that it offers people in this area. And half the people, 90% of the people that came were like, I didn't know this place existed.
Sure.
And like, if they had got to experience the waterfall, it would have been like, I'm going to bring my family here every second weekend.
Sure.
And like, genuinely, but now someone's like, you know what, this doesn't sound right. I'm going to try ruin it.
Yeah,
you know
yeah,
what I mean?
yeah.
For
Anyway,
no reason.
it doesn't matter. Like, I'm one of those people. Like, if you're gonna bring negativity into my space,
You just
I'm just gonna make what I'm doing
change.
bigger. And I'm going
don't-
to
and
make
don't
it
do
bigger.
what they thought you were doing.
Now,
Yeah.
now I'm gonna pull back. You're not gonna know what I'm doing, and I'm just gonna amplify it so much more. And that'll just
That's
push
exactly
us all
what we
into.
did
That's
there.
exactly what we did, and it was like, you know, the waterfall is a bit of a stretch because it's like it's a 10K hike,
Yeah.
so it's like a
And
huge
we were
barrier.
also thinking like
you know?
1,000 people max could
Yeah,
like
dude.
flood through there.
Sure.
And then it was like, well, now we're not doing 1,000 anymore.
Definitely,
We're
like
doing
yeah,
fucking
no. Now I'm like, cool,
thousands.
3,000 people,
Yeah, yeah.
you know, and it just came together naturally. It wasn't something we went like, let's plan an event to make money or this or that. Well, this cost us all money
Yeah,
at the end of the day.
yeah. But it's
But-
what happens next. And
Sure.
everyone, bro, everyone, even the people like, I mean, you have to do what we do to understand that you don't want to make money
Sure.
off the bat. If your goal is to make money off the bat, you're going to lose in the long run.
Sure.
That's all you'll ever do is make 200, 300 grand an event, and that's all you'll ever be, because you'll never be greater. But if you invest in like this initial stage over and over, and you keep building those relationships and you keep building that network, like the next one we do, those 3,000 people are going to be there front of line.
Definitely.
And now you add another 3,000. And it's because we did it with like no quick buck in mind, you know?
Sure. And I think it's just pure intention.
Yeah.
Like we went, okay, this is the environment we want to create. How do we create an
Shake
environment
things up.
where families can come together, musicians, this, that? I mean, we would just came out of studio with Music Man and Masuda. Do you think that would have happened if we didn't do this
It was
BU
all driven
experience?
by passion. In every area, it was driven by
100%.
like,
you
that
know?
was the cool
Absolutely.
part. It wasn't like artists being like, oh, I have to, like, I'm earning money, but I have to go fucking perform. You know, it was like, I want to
No,
go
yeah.
showcase what.
Like, you know, when it came to artists, like, and this, I had a lot of negativity as well. You know, how are you asking these artists to do this for free and this and that? I'm like, that is not the point. You know, those
Bro,
people
I actually,
are just.
I felt like I burned bridges by not asking artists.
Sure.
I know, by not asking, because like
But this
we had
wasn't
already
about the
set
artists.
we
Yeah.
set this up, right? And then I was like, I actually apologized when the lineup was already done and dusted. I had to send a few messages, and I was like, I really wanted to ask you, but I know your worth, and it felt rude to me to like have paid you for last gigs,
Sure.
and now I'm like, do this for free.
Sure.
And I had to explain to them, I was like, I'm losing money over this. And I was like, I'm losing money so like we can create this something. But now I was like, it's a bit too late, but I'm genuinely sorry. And it's shit because
Sure.
I had that guilt.
Sure.
But now I don't. I'm like,
Sure.
I saw how like Joss had a fucking jaw and the people loved
Sure.
it. And like,
Sure.
it only leads to greater things.
Definitely.
And like anyone who would have been a part of it would never have regretted doing it for free. That is a fact.
Definitely.
The name of the event is very significant because it is BU, and it's just an opportunity. And I think the most beautiful thing about it is it was a chance for an opportunity for families to come and experience that probably usually wouldn't have had the opportunity because of pricing of tickets, and also for artists that probably haven't performed as much as they should, like Joss, to go out there and show what they're capable of. And
Say what that guy came and said to you with the Oros.
Oh.
That made me cry. Bro, I literally shed a tear when I heard this.
So,
I don't want to hear it.
oh no. Yeah, no.
Tell
It
them.
was,
the most beautiful.
you know, like, and it stems back to like the initial thing with where I used to do hikes at Giba and this and that. And, you know, first hike was like 100 and something people. Second hike was like 400 and something people.
26.
And then bang, this huge experience at Giba. Guy came up to me and he's like, hey, introduced himself. You know, I want to chat to you. You know, I followed you on Instagram, blah, blah, blah. Can I introduce you to my family? I'm like, of course, let's go. You know, walk over to his family and meet everyone. And he goes to me, I'm 47 years old. In my entire life, I've never had the opportunity or the capacity to have experienced an event like this because I just, you know, don't have the money. Thank you for like empowering me to give my kids and my family this experience. And I literally just stood there and I was like, the tears were coming and I was like, oh my God, you know, and I looked down and we allowed cooler boxes. Now this was a very like contentious thing in terms of like
it was a 50-50
the bar,
hit or
the this,
miss,
the that, you know, what's going to happen. The guy brought 2-liter bottles of water and Jungle Yum squeezy juice. They were mixing their own stuff. They had literally peanut butter sandwiches and they had the best day of their life. That, for me, that single like interaction,
It's too crazy.
Dude, it was
that was
fun.
exactly why we created
Yeah.
this at Giba. Not for the artists, not for anyone, for people. For people to experience, for people to come together, for people to be able to bring their kids. We had a jumping castle and a this and a that and a, you know, it was those moments. Like for me, it was just, I mean, I'm happy to put that entire event on for those 4 people. That's it.
Thing to think about is like art and that I suppose you could call it living, an experience, shouldn't be behind a paywall. Imagine like the best singers in the world you'll never get to see because you couldn't afford to
100%.
And bro,
to hear the best
I want to just put this out there because I know it's not about the money or the brands or the this or the that, but I don't understand how brands don't see it.
Sure.
Like a brand that gave that guy that experience, he and everyone around is a lot more attached to than the brand who made them pay 500 Rand to get through the door.
Definitely.
You know what I mean? You give someone something they remember for life, that is the brand they trust and would devote like whatever
Definitely,
to, you know? So like,
definitely.
I don't understand how brands are putting this barrier in place and then you give people a good experience, but you gave yourself the experience. You had to financially pay for that.
Once you've paid,
It
changes it.
You now made the experience happen. Without you paying,
It's
it
not
never
all,
happened.
for me. It's not all.
Yeah,
it's
it
not
wasn't
authentic.
for you. This is like we doing this, and it is all for you, and
Definitely.
we are the ones giving you this experience. You know,
what lent itself to the crowd reaction to a lot of the artists and things like that.
yo, they lost their minds.
The crowd were loving it.
Yo,
They were
everything,
there completely by choice, and it was for them.
Definitely.
yeah, bro. There was no genre barriers. Everyone was just thriving on everything.
Definitely.
It was ridiculous.
I mean, yeah, it was incredible. What happened with the Sony there?
Joss, it's been a while since you stepped on stage.
Yes.
How was it?
It was when did I open for Neon Dreams? How long ago
Long,
was that?
a year,
A year ago.
It's
Yeah.
been a while.
maybe longer even, bro.
Yeah, I was really nervous because the last performances that I'd done, my mouth went like really dry the second song in, even though like some people didn't notice. Trust me, I was like, on
Well, you
stage.
keep sipping a beer as well.
Yeah, that's why I kept it there.
Bro, you get so nervous,
I'm
but
not
like
an alcoholic.
I saw him perform in Joburg with Neon Dreams, that whole thing.
Bro, can you
Bro, he didn't
step
even-
on a stage and do what he does? I would be nervous.
If I could sing, yeah.
I'd be nervous.
Okay, but listen, we go up to Joburg, bro, and like me, I'm the type of person who talks through everything with my friends. Like if I'm about to go in a meeting, I'm like, do I have my facts straight? Do I this? Like I question things to see if I'm right. Bro, we fly to Joburg. He didn't talk about his performance once. We got to the hotel we were staying at. We chill. Nothing. Sits on his computer, doesn't talk to me one bit, listens to a bit of this, does this, takes his USB, goes to the fucking place, tells this up at the top. It's like a big fucking setup up at the top. He goes there, the guy questions a few things. He's like, no, this. Tells this guy what to do up at the sound, whatever it's called. Front of, back of house, whatever.
Front of house.
Front of house. Bro, he steps on stage and just fucking bangs it out. I didn't hear one like, Mark, do you think this? Do you think this? Nothing, bro. And we alone. It's just him and I. So this last event, I was like, what the fuck is going on? Why is he so nervous? Man, I've never seen it before.
Yeah, I think it's because I've never performed a full set before. I've never performed 10 songs, and it's like, do I have even the lung capacity to do that? Never mind the physical capacity. I don't think people realize like after 10 songs, like you start getting extremely fatigued, like especially in your chest. You do. These guys that do shows every single night and like tour around the world,
Just
like,
bolts
they are
it,
machines.
They fucking like his
No.
neck is
It
like,
was like-
dude, he's
Yeah,
like
that
going
vein
all.
comes
It's not
out.
just like la. It's not like that, bro. Like Joss is giving his fucking all.
How's it?
And you have to like, I think people feed off that. I also believe like you don't even have to be the best singer, but if you're giving it everything, people just they respect the fact that you're giving it everything.
I've
You know,
said
like,
this to everyone around this table, so I'm repeating myself. But being on stage is not about being a singer. It's about being a performer and an entertainer at that point. And
Yeah.
it takes a unique time.
When have you told me this?
The first time we're hearing this. Huh?
I know I've told you
I've
this,
said this to
Karen.
everyone before.
Yeah.
My name's
Performing
Jeff.
on stage.
Everyone when you guys were intoxicated, so you won't remember.
When was I on stage and when was I performing?
Doing it, I said it about Joss.
Okay.
No, it's just how you have to be a performer. You have to bring an X factor and like energize the crowd and interact with them and make them comfortable and
yeah.
take breaks in between songs and like have that stage presence, which some people can't do.
I think that's why I was also nervous, because I know that that's a huge aspect to it, and I see how well it does for Lewis Capaldi. Just him being his authentic self on stage is half of his show, and I think that's what was so nervous. It was like, okay, well, I'm gonna go up there. Like, there's no faking who you are in front of these people. Like, you got to just be yourself, and I think that was also just nerve wracking. Just allowing myself to be like, okay, I believe that I can actually just go up there and be authentic. But to be completely honest, I told everybody this. I had no idea that I could go up there and actually do that, like the full set and give it as much energy. But you just, it's like fight or flight. You work so hard, and then there's this other aspect to the music business, which is performing. And it's like you do all this other work in all the other areas, and now you know that it actually boils down to this. And so I think there's a part of you where it's like, I don't have a choice. Like, this is just part of it. I don't know. It's weird. It's a strange thing to just be like, do it.
Seeing you on stage soon, eh?
Yes, yeah, I know. We're busy working on a couple things, working on 1-2 things, but yeah, it's going to be definitely a show-ridden rest of the year, I hope. That's definitely
I could see he got hooked, bro.
Yeah.
Dude, we all shed a tear when he performed, bro. He was fucking like in it. Like, he was fucking in it.
Yeah.
No, it was proper. It was
Are you
incredible.
seeing another BeYou soon as well?
For sure.
Next week?
No.
No.
I say we can do it in 5 days.
We're giving ourselves a bit of time. I'm going on a bit of a break. Game reserves, need to just get out of Hillcrest. But
To any of our 5
the next
viewers,
one, yeah,
we'll tag his page.
yeah,
he
yeah,
needs
yeah,
the followers.
yeah,
Go
yeah.
like all of his posts.
but the next one's going to be colossal.
Can't
It's going to be nothing like this that's ever happened in South Africa, hands
I'm
down.
picturing 200-300 people in one place, all at the same time.
200-300.
I want him to correct
Try
me with our numbers.
15,000.
Okay, good.
Okay.
But
Okay,
we
we
leave
done.
that. We leave that for
Okay,
another time.
love you, bye.
Okay, cheers.